If you've inherited a property here in the greater Houston area and you're trying to figure out what to do with it, well, this video is specifically for you. Let's start with what most people dealing with inherited properties here in the greater Houston are actually facing. The property has probably been in the family for a long time. It may not have been updated in years or decades. There's likely some deferred maintenance, some wear and tear, maybe the flooring that has seen better days, or fixtures that haven't been touched since the 80s or 70s or maybe even the 60s. And almost immediately, the investors start coming out of the woodwork. Local wholesalers, cash buyers, these quote unquote, we buy ugly houses that have signs all over Houston, and they move fast, specifically targeting properties that are going through probate or that have been inherited, because they know families are often overwhelmed, often out of state, and often don't realize what the property could actually sell for with the right approach. Now, those investors aren't doing anything illegal, but their offers are built around their profit margin or their ARV, not your outcome. And in Houston's current market, the gap between as-is investor offers and what a properly prepared and positioned property can command on the open market can easily be $30,000 to $50,000 to $100,000, sometimes significantly more. The question is this: do you know what's on the other side of the gap before you decide? When it comes to maximizing a probate property sale here in Houston, there are three areas that move the needle more than anything else. Get all three right, and the outcome is usually strong. Miss one, and it can cost you. So pillar one, the legal foundation. This is where most families lose time and that they didn't need to lose, and sometimes a lot of money too. Before anything else happens, you need to understand what legal process applies to your specific situation under Texas law. So here's something a lot of people don't realize. In certain situations in Texas, you may not need to go through the full probate process at all. So Texas has a legal instrument called an heirship affidavit. And so this is a document that can establish who the rightful heirs are when the circumstances qualify. When it applies, it can cut weeks, sometimes months off the timeline, and sometimes even years. And it allows the sale to move forward more efficiently than most families expect. Now, not every situation qualifies. You need a probate attorney to evaluate your specific circumstances. But knowing this option exists and exploring it early can be one of the most valuable things you do at the beginning of this process. So pillar two, strategic property preparation. And I want to emphasize the word strategic here, because this is where a lot of families either underprepare or overspend, and both are costly mistakes. Now, you don't need a full renovation to complete here in the Houston market. You don't need to go all out. What you do need is to remove the objections buyers are going to use to negotiate your price down. So, for example, worn flooring, outdated fixtures, deferred maintenance items, a property that hasn't been cleared out. So these are all things that send buyers towards lowball offers, and they feel they could take advantage of the situation because they're calculating what it'll cost them to fix everything they're seeing, and then still additional expenses. So cost-effective updates that you can make: fresh paint, minor repairs, updated fixtures, a thorough professional cleaning, and dramatically change how Houston buyers perceive a home. Now, the goal isn't perfection. It's making sure that when a buyer walks through the door, their first reaction is not an opportunity to give you a lowball offer or not like a project list. So pillar three, this is very important: pricing and market positioning. Houston is a dynamic market. What a property sold for 18 months ago may not actually reflect where things are today. Pricing has to be based on current comparable sales. I'm talking about real data, not optimism or wishes. And it has to be calibrated to generate immediate interest rather than sitting and going stale. It has to be priced so that you get multiple offers. A well-priced Houston property creates urgency. Buyers compete, often come in faster and stronger. A mispriced property, even by a little, loses that momentum and often ends up selling for less after price reductions that it would have, if the property was priced correctly, you wouldn't have to have done any price reduction. So if you price it right from day one, you can expect a lot more interest. Let me walk you through a real Houston property example so you can see all of these three pillars working together. The home had been lived in for many years, a real family home with real history. On the surface, it wasn't in terrible shape, but when you look closer, the flooring was worn, the fixtures were dated, and there were a handful of deferred maintenance items that buyers were going to notice immediately. In its current condition, this was a property that was going to attract investor offers. Buyers were going to walk in, see everything that needed attention, and use it to push the price as low as possible. So instead of listing it as is and hoping for the best, we took a different approach. First, the legal side. We evaluated the family situation with the appropriate legal resources and determined that an heirship affidavit was a very viable option. That single decision saved weeks of processing time that would have been otherwise lost waiting for the full probate process to work its way through the probate system. The ownership was established clearly and efficiently, and we were able to move forward on the real estate side without unnecessary delays. Second, strategic preparation. We went through the property and identified specifically which improvements would deliver the best return. Not everything needed to be fixed. Not every update was worth the cost. The focus was on the things that would meaningfully change how buyers perceive the home. The things that would shift someone from "this needs too much work" to "I can see myself here." Fresh paint, flooring addressed in the key areas, fixtures updated where it mattered, a professional clean out, and a deep clean. So the home showed the way it deserved to be shown. We did not overinvest. Every dollar spent was evaluated against what it would return in the final sale price. Third, we hit the Houston market with clear pricing strategy, professional photography, full MLS exposure to make sure the right buyers, retail buyers, serious investors, everyone competing in that price range in that area had the opportunity to see it at the same time. The response was strong. More showings than an as-is listing have generated. More serious buyers, less negotiating leverage for anyone trying to push the price down because the condition objections had already been removed. The property sold at $418,000, significantly higher than what an as-is listing would have produced. And the family didn't have to manage any of it from a distance. We coordinated with contractors on their own and didn't have to lose weeks to a legal process that in their situation wasn't necessary at all. But here's what I want you to take away from the specific example that I've given you for a property here in Houston. This market has real buyers willing to pay retail or at least close to it for properties that are properly presented. The demand is definitely there. What's often missing is the preparation and positioning to capture it. Houston also has legal tools like the heirship affidavit, which can save you thousands of dollars that many families in other states don't have access to. Taking advantage of what Texas law allows can meaningfully accelerate your timeline without sacrificing anything on the real estate side. The families who leave money on the table for the property that they're selling almost always do so for one of three reasons. Number one, they don't know their legal options. Number two, they listed the property before it was ready. Or number three, they priced it in a way that killed the momentum before it even got started. All three of those are definitely avoidable with the right game plan and right guidance from the beginning. If you're dealing with an inherited property here in the greater Houston area and you're not sure where to start, well, let's go ahead and have a conversation. I'm very accessible. Walk through the property with you, explain what legal options apply to your specific situation under Texas law, and help you build a game plan, strategize. One that accounts for the property's condition, the current Houston market, and what approach is actually going to net you the most amount of money. You don't have to have everything figured out. This is a team effort. And before you reach out, don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and plan it out together. And the earlier we can look at your situation, the more options you typically have. There's a link in the description below. Reach out directly and we'll set up time to talk. And if this was helpful, hit the like and subscribe button. We put out content specifically for properties that are going through probate in the greater Houston area every week, and for families that are navigating this process where they've inherited a property that's going through probate and the decisions that come along with them. I'll see you in the next video. And if